hear us? Are you going to man the
There we
chat
go.
room?
Yes, and I'm going to tweet out and do all the things in just a moment.
Okay, main raid wrap-up is basically done.
Awesome.
I'm not doing all the normal ones since this is a mini wrap-up. I'm just adding what they are in normal because it's kind of weird. Like, I think only 2 of the groups have finished normal. Looks like Get Your Crit Together kind of moved to pushing on heroic harder than they pushed on normal. It's so quiet.
And I should probably just change my name to Dan Kenya on every server so that you don't have to change it when you tag me.
Probably a good idea.
Let's see. Here we are. That is quite some scrolling you got going on there.
Sorry, the microphone picks up everything.
Some of them can do it. I think this one is kind of like that too. I try not to type too much during the podcast or else everyone hears it.
Well, because of the way my desk is set up, the microphone is right next to where my mouse is as well. So it picks up a lot of that. I do tend to mute myself during the podcast so that my squeaky chair doesn't come through either.
What fun is that?
That's funny.
They lowered their rewards for slower shipping. Okay. That looks good. Let's see, what is here?
All right. So ready when everyone is.
And I do have the sounds ready to go.
Cool.
See what this video goes to. I don't think I've looked at it yet. Oh yes, it's Abo. Video from Abo. Open the flavoring. Need to do some kind of work, otherwise it's just you two. It doesn't seem fair.
For what?
For notes. I need to add more fun things.
Dude, it's fine.
Yeah.
I just pasted the stuff in Discord and Tet moved it over. Or yeah. So.
Well, today was a book club day, so I was running around the house with a toddler.
Yes, and I hear your wife had my mouse at book club, so it's because someone else drove, so she's kind of tipsy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what I heard as well. So they're upstairs, and they're both kind of chilling out in the upstairs area, watching TV.
Yay!
Oh, I guess I'm ready.
All right.
Who are we missing?
No one. Well, Ted, but...
Well, yeah.
All right. Starting the show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to episode 314 of the podcast celebrating you, the Alia Octa Est gaming community. The Die Has Been podcast. I'm McCullough.
You want to start that over with the lead-in, maybe?
Oh, wow. Yes.
I was wondering.
It's been a while, right?
She just want to do that hard cold open.
Started.
Yes.
Oh, something's off. That was weird. Okay.
Yes. Try again.
Starting again in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On this episode of the AIE Podcast,
Anthem is the new hotness.
SWTOR is swarming the hive of the Mountain Queen.
Become a warrior of light, or maybe darkness.
Or both. Condolences to Huck and Eve.
Indeed. And then Kenya is here to talk to us about AIE and ESO.
Yay! All that and more coming up right now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
Welcome to episode 314 of the podcast celebrating you, the Alia Octa Est gaming community. The Die Has Been podcast. I am McCullough, and to my left is Mewcow.
Greetings, guildies.
And to my right is, well, no one, because Ted has been down with the flu and does not have enough of a voice to talk on the show this evening. So he's going to be manning the chat room for us. And this evening, we are excited to have Dan Kinia on to talk to us about AIE and ESO. Welcome, Kinney.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to go around, chat about what we've been doing this week. I do have Tet's update. So he got into Final Fantasy 14. He's playing an archer, and he's at level 24 with various professions as well. It's very fun so far, a good story, and entertaining combat. He did also get Anthem. He's been playing the heck out of it while recovering from, not feeling so great. I mean, okay, Anthem is great. The flu is not great. So maybe 5 out of 10 would recommend for half of it. He's level 14 playing the Colossus, which is playing true to type because that's the tech mech. Go figure. And he also did his first stronghold, which he said was a blast. It was a lot of fun and it helped him figure out what all the keys and his key bindings do. So that's Ted's update. What have you been doing? Oh, and for out of game, he's been struggling with the flu. What have you been doing in and out of game, Mew?
Luckily, no flu.
Yay!
A little bit of we're finally getting over what they call the cedar fever.
Mm-hmm.
It's when the cedar trees stop pumping constant, huge amounts of pollen everywhere, like visible clouds of it everywhere. They've started to calm down just in time for oak, but oak isn't quite as bad.
Right.
Yeah, we're surrounded by lots of trees here.
Move to Texas, they said.
Yeah, you'll love it, they said. Other than that, I've also been playing a lot of Anthem. Not quite as high in level. I just got to level 8 the night before last. Just got the Colossus myself, and nice. So kind of been playing with that and getting it out. It's definitely a fun game. It's got some interesting story. I can see that they have, they're kind of doing a slow build, trying to learn where you are, what's going on. It's definitely, everyone's definitely human, but we're definitely not on Earth. That's for sure. Or if it was, it's had some changes. Other than that, lots of Final Fantasy 14.
Of course.
pretty much tons of hype for the expansion that's coming and the wave of players coming in, which we'll mention below.
Awesome.
Other than that, I did spend a night, Friday night, with the Azeroth Roundtable crew. So fun was had there.
Always a good time with those boys.
Yep. And of course, lots of raiding in WoW. And we have a little bit of a mini raid wrap up below, which we'll dig into that. But yeah, two AIE teams and lots of activity there. So yeah, that's probably been the focus. I did play a little bit of Far Cry with Mrs. Mew. Trying to get her to finish that story because the sequel to that story came out Friday, I believe.
Cool.
So I think they call it Far Cry New Dawn. So it's a direct sequel to Far Cry 5.
Awesome.
So yeah. So
Kenny, what have you been doing in and out of game?
Out of game, a little bit of D&D last week, which unfortunately won't be happening this week, but that's okay. Lots of work, busy stuff going on there right now. In game, I've been doing the normal Elder Scrolls activities. I'm in there a couple times a week, most often on Friday nights for the mandatory fun events that we'll talk about later. Playing some WoW with the new raid group, which we'll also talk about later. And lots of time in Fallout 76 lately.
Yep.
There's a few other AIE members that are playing it as well, and we tend to make our Sunday night activity a group event in Fallout where we go through and launch a weapon and shoot green glowing ghouls in the face. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So do I have to go apologize for Sparrow for disturbing your Sunday night fun?
No, they're doing it without me, and I'll just jump in later. So
sounds good.
I can still shoot ghouls later tonight. It's all good.
Always time to shoot ghouls.
Yes.
Let's see. I've mostly been my D&D stuff. We had our Monday game on Monday, which includes Dan Kenya, Tet, Kenny's husband, myself. So lots of great AIE members. Fakella. We've been having a lot of fun with a murder mystery, and I think we're getting a little closer to solving it. We got a lot more suspects last week. So we have some new trails. It's a lot of social skills, which is very different for a lot of D&D games that I've ever played in. And I know Kenny's, it's kind of a challenge for Kenny because that's really not how her character's built.
My character's built to light things on fire, not talk. But yeah.
So that's been a good time, but we definitely do have some more clues. Had my Thursday night game with some Tadpole folks, and my weekend game with some Tadpole folks. I game with a lot of AIE and Tadpole people.
Funny how that works.
Also Tuesday or Thursday night, which is a game which is mostly hack and slash, was strangely also social. I don't think we rolled any attack rolls. Because we'd taken out the flesh giant the week before in like 0.6 of a round, so that was delightful. Lots of social stuff going on with gaming, which is fun. And then today's game, I think we're getting kind of close to the big bad, close to the end of this part of the adventure, which is very Lovecraftian and lots of mysteries and digging into scary history. So that's what I've been doing geek wise. And besides that, trying to be active, working out, working the other stuff. Oh, and we did the Oscar marathon the last 2 Saturdays. So my last 2 Saturdays have been spent at the movie theater watching all the movies.
And I think it's even going on as we speak, isn't it?
It is, which is just funny. I watch Oscar movies. I don't watch the Oscars.
I know there's a few groups in AIE that are currently actively watching it. So hopefully they're enjoying what they're watching.
Cool. All right, so we're going to get ESO shortly. We're going to go ahead and cover this week's news, including some raid updates from multiple games.
AIE News.
Okay, first up is streaming and podcast and guild. Wow, streaming and guild podcast news. In SOTOR Escape Podcast 279, 5.10 plus 0.1, it compiled. In this week, AIE SEMA Max Gray and Astromech EPC 279 break down the good, the bad, and the ugly in 5.10.1. And in SOTOR Escape Podcast 280, Killer Queen. Speaking of the Oscars, this week, AIE SEMA Max Gray and Astromech EPC 280 break down the Queen of the Wretched of the Hive of the Mountain of the Queen Layer boss fight. Wow, that's a lot of
That's
extra
a lot of those. Yeah, there's a lot of those.
Wow. I thought it was just Hive of the Mountain Queen.
Queen of the Wretched of the Hive of the Mountain of the Queen Layer boss. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, then. I'm going to go. That's probably an inside joke of some sort. Working Class Nerds 370 Soft Taco Talk featuring Lady Ron and Cograss. They discussed Twitch streaming as well as Nightmare Ops in SOTOR. They broke down the new layer boss on Osis, the mutated Genosian Queen. If you want to hear more about Working Class Nerds, go to workingclassnerds.com.
And we have lots of mandatory fun nights going on where the fun is mandatory, but the attendance is not. A couple of games have moved dates, so be sure to double check when each game is running mandatory fun night. We have Guild Wars 2 is still Mondays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. SWTOR is still Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. However, on Wednesdays, Final Fantasy XIV is now at 10 p.m. Eastern. And then we skip on to Friday, where ESO is still doing 9 p.m. Eastern. Awesome. New Braid is at 11 p.m. Eastern on Saturdays. And Sunday is where SWTOR has moved to 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
SOTOR or SGO?
Sorry, STO.
Well, we have our SOTOR folks in the chat.
Yes,
so.
That's true. Yeah. STO is on Sundays. Sorry.
Awesome. All right. And in Imperium Ludi news, Anthem. We have quite a few folks playing on the PC, with at least one on Xbox and one on PS4. Duras has pinned the list of the origin names at the top of the @Anthem channel in Discord. The top 5 contributors on your friends list award you extra XP based on your alliance rankings, which go up every time you complete a mission, and you will get gold to spend in the vanity shops. Hop on in. It's a fun game. If you want to try it out, you can purchase 1 month Origins access and unlock it, as well as all the other Origin games, while your sub is active.
Yep. Yeah, this is especially a good deal if you're the kind that wants to play all of the games in their library. If you're only wanting it for Anthem and you find out that you like Anthem, but you're not interested in the other games, make sure you just buy Anthem.
Right.
Because you're going to be paying that monthly fee, and as soon as you stop paying the monthly fee, you don't have the game anymore unless you buy it outright. So it's great to get your toes in. And if you say, "Yeah, it's not for me," okay, end your subscription. Walk away.
Not much lost.
Yep. All right. Now, in WoW news, big shout out to the people of Blizzard doing hard work to make this game right now, and to all the folks that are having to find new places to work after the Tuesday earnings call that happened. The gaming industry as a whole seems very much in flux. Job stability isn't there, and a lot of hardworking folks putting everything they can in making the games we love.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, it's a rough time of year. It's when all of the budgets are coming in. That's why you're going to see so many companies announcing layoffs. But at the same time, they're going to be announcing their hirings too, because they figure out what their headcount is, and that's why you're seeing this typically around this time of year. Right. But yeah, hard to see, but it's unfortunate.
As you know too much.
Yep, it's literally just how the cycle is. I've seen it several times, so it's just one of those things. You going into the industry, you have to know that's going to happen.
Right.
But on to more interesting news in WoW. We have a mini raid wrap up in the race for Guild First Heroic. So right now we have Get Your Crit Together in the lead, who is currently 6 out of 9 in Heroic BOD, or Battle for Dazar'alor. Hard to say. They are at 7 of 9 in normal, however. Kitty Aggro is trailing them at 4 of 9 in Heroic, but they have finished normal 9 to 9.
Nice.
Better Late Than Never is currently at 3 of 9 Heroic, but they did get to 9 of 9 in normal first for the guild. So they are currently holding on to the guild first for normal. Pepperjack Fan Club is at 2 of 9 in Heroic and is at 8 of 9 in normal. And then at the end of the Heroic teams list, we have Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, who is currently at 1 of 9 in Heroic and is at 6 of 9 in normal. And then to talk about some of our other interesting raid groups, Penny, any new braid updates for us?
Yes, as soon as I take myself off mute. So New Braid last night went through and one-shot Zul and Mithrax.
Nice.
We did not expect to kill Mithrax at all. We actually got really lucky with the one pull, one kill on him. I'm very proud of the progress the group has made. I mean, we are not a progression raid. We're a learning raid, so we are a little bit slower to get these things done. But it was a ton of fun, and we're talking about next week just extending the lockout and going straight to the last boss and seeing what happens.
Oh, I would highly recommend it. If you guys one-shot Mithrax, you're probably going to find that that Mr. Gahoon is really not at all that difficult, honestly.
From what I've heard, it's a lot of mechanics, which with New Braid, because we are a casual group, it's not always the same people. Those mechanics might cause us a little bit of a struggle, but it should be fun to try.
It's really the one mechanic. It's the orb runner. If you can get a solid number of people that can do the orb runs, you're good. The rest of it you can fall over. But the orb runs, that's the key part. You figure out find your orb runners, you're good. Yeah. And
I'm looking forward to giving it a try, see what happens. After that, if we get through that fairly unscathed, we might try LFR for the next raid tier, the BOD, but we'll see. Nice. It just depends.
Awesome. All right. And in SOTOR news, SOTOR, as alluded to earlier, got a new layer boss called Hive of the Mountain Queen. Go back and listen to Escape Podcast 280 for more information on that and some really fun alternate names. It's on the planet Ossus and is basically a monster created by an insane Sith Lord. Aren't they all? It's giving everyone a good time. They downed it on story mode and in our raid teams, and also during the mega event, which they did a 16-man mode in the help of friends and one lone but awesome pug. Also, someone who shall remain nameless, Marcus, set off a bomb that killed 12 of his allies. We're thinking that record will stand for a long time, unless next time he kills 13. The next harder mode veteran is going to give everyone fits. They're up to the challenge, though. Speaking of Mega, February's Mega was last Friday, and killing the Hive Queen is not the only thing they did. They went to Ossus and got 2 later datacrons. Both of them were essentially jumping puzzles, with one of them being in such close quarters that at certain camera angles you can see the inside of your own head. That seems like a Jedi mind trick. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, the good jumpers got to the target and were able to summon the rest of the group. In podcast news, of course, both Working Class Nerds and Escape Podcast are going strong, with WCN hitting 37 and EPC, of course, at 280. In Guild news, the Guild and SOTOR has officially retired the requirements for new members to put in applications. If you know someone that wishes to join AIE and SOTOR, give them the Discord info and let them ask for the invite there. B. Kavanaugh wrote and compiled responses for the survey regarding people's preference for MFN. They'll be using that to help decide from week to week what activities to do in MFN. Looking for the survey for near future from Marcus about what preferences are for Mega going forward. And by the way, MFN on the Republic side, MFN is on the Republic side this week. And in raid news, SOL, Soldiers of Light, beat the mutated Genosian Queen and got the hidden achievement.
Ooh, those are always fun. All right, in Final Fantasy 14 news, Wednesday night fun nights are at 10 p.m. There may be other days and times that will be added to later, but let us know your thoughts in Discord. Essentially, they kind of like the idea of having multiple nights because they know it's difficult to pin everyone down. Especially Wednesdays, Thursdays tend to be pretty heavy raid nights, as do Sundays. Yeah. So they're trying to spread it out a little bit just to see if they can hit people on a better night. So look forward to that. Also, if you're not already aware, activity is very high in Final Fantasy XIV thanks to Amazon, or in particular Twitch. If you have Twitch Prime, you now get a free code for the game if you don't already own it.
We talked about that a little bit last week, which is great news, or last show.
Yeah, and it's packed. I mean, they're even the small servers, the ones that are considered preferred servers that they won't want to troll you to, they're getting queues. The small servers are getting queues. So it's working. It's definitely working. And yeah, it's been a fun ride. And it kind of helps because Shadowbringers pre-orders are live, and pre-order bonuses will be available on March 1st, which is Friday, I believe. It also includes a special leveling earring to help everyone get to level 70 a little bit faster, because you'll want to be there to start the new expansion. Also, are you confused about the class system? Check out this video from Abovan on that very subject, and the link is in the show notes. There is plenty of room for new Warriors of Light. Drop by the Final Fantasy XIV channel in Discord, and we can help get you started. Plenty of people around to offer referrals or even codes for the game.
Awesome. And in STO news, there's a new task force operation out, the Pavlo Dissension. It's a ground-based operation that focuses on the new Mirror of Discovery storyline. MFN has started back up. They're currently scheduled for Sunday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Any rank lieutenant commander and higher is invited to join.
Mm-hmm. And in EVE news, welcome new community officer and EVE director Huck.
Yay!
He is known as Cersei in the game at EVE. Welcome back Space Trucker Extraordinaire Eric Nolan at Red Room. He enjoys his time back by instantly losing a 1.4 billion ISK carrier. That's quite the welcome back. Yeah, that's a lot of money. The Resco Imperial Legacy is flailing on the bongos of war. That's an interesting way to play them. The 6-month peace treaty that is almost all of E is under expires March 22nd. At least moderate to large-scale warfare is expected. Also, the annual Burn Jita player event is currently taking place. This is where hundreds of players converge on the largest market and in the game and kill hundreds of billions of ISK worth of shipping traffic every day. Traffic dividers is recommended at least through Tuesday. It's no wonder they have that ceasefire, as they're too busy playing with all the high-sec stuff.
Right. And unfortunately, in sad gaming news, when it comes to Guild War 2, our sympathies to the ArenaNet Guild War 2 team. They are unfortunately currently going through layoffs. But good news, on Tuesday, the new Warclaw WVW mount becomes available. It's usable in PvP as well. If you don't know how, we don't know yet how it will be claimed, but it will almost certainly involve WVW playing. So if you want to know how to WVW, what does WVW stand for, guys?
World versus World.
Thank you. Come talk with us in the Guild Wars 2 Discord channel.
Yeah, it's kind of their version of PvP. You don't
PvP,
fight,
yeah.
You don't fight your own friends. You fight someone else's friends.
Got it. That sounds great. I mean, it's a little high school for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's just my dimension's cooler than your dimension. Let's fight. So
yeah.
All right, in a different dimension, Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings online team just published their producer's letter yesterday, and it's a look ahead for the year. Link in the show notes. First, the more important goal for the year is to continue to tell your ongoing story. They are excited to continue the Black Book of Mordor as it winds through Middle-earth and leads players to our next expansion. The tale will take us to the Vale of Anduin, not Warcraft's Anduin.
I know, that's confusing, yeah.
They probably had Anduin first, honestly. Wouldn't surprise me. Where they will be exploring history, important events, and the secrets of that area. As the year continues, they will unveil more tales in the Vale and follow the story back towards Mordor to Minas Morgul itself. Among the many dangers you'll face will be the Shelob herself. Ooh. Yeah. As you learn what she's been up to and how she is influencing the future of Middle-earth.
That's a different kind of hive queen.
Yeah, lots of hive queens. In mountains, no less. And in ongoing event news, the Skirmish event continues through March 11th. And that does it for everyone else there. So we'll get back to Kenny and find out what's going on in ESO.
Hey, Kenny, what's going on in ESO?
Well, there's a few things going on in ESO. So they've announced the next chapter of the game called Elsewhere, which comes out later this year. But in running up towards it, they have a few updates and DLCs. The next one is going to be update 21, and it arrives February 25th, so next week for PC players, and I think the beginning of the following week for Xbox and PlayStation.
So tomorrow.
Yeah, it goes into tomorrow. There'll be a new battleground map for PvP called Eld Angar that has several different game types like Capture the Relic, Domination, Chaos Ball. And another area of the map would be for stuff like Crazy King and Deathmatch. Don't ask me what any of that means when it comes to PvP because I don't play it. But the people that do seem to be rather excited by it.
It looks like a lot of game types.
Do we have any people in our guild that do tend to be more on the PvP and that you know of?
There's one person in particular has a PvP tune, Smoke. He will do some of the PvP stuff for different rewards. But he seems to be the only one that really enjoys it, as far as I know. He has a nice sneaky Bosmer that lets him get in there and get the sky shards and stuff and not get caught.
Neat.
I've been in there a few times, and usually it involves death when I go in, so I avoid it.
Kenny, that's not just ESO.
Okay, that might be true. I specialize in floor tank, but that's all right. That's
yeah, I'm gonna say, yeah. Sorry about that.
I'm totally gonna own that. But with update 21, it's also the first part of the Season of the Dragon adventure, basically the ramp up toward the release of Elsewhere. And it'll be the Rastone DLC that comes out as well on the 25th. There's a 4-person dungeon called the Dwarven Vault of Movnak, which I'm probably saying wrong. And evidently there's going to be some Dwarven automation, some traps, and a race of goblins that'll get in the way of reaching the objective. There'll be 3 new armor and weapon sets available, and from all as boss drops, and then from a veteran final boss kill, you'll get the new monster. You have a chance to get the new monster mask.
Oh, chance.
Well, there's, if I remember correctly, the only time monster masks drop are on veteran, and if there's only one set with this boss, then you're probably going to get it, but it just depends.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, and that definitely sounds interesting. I know that when it comes out, we will probably run it and die and laugh a lot because that's what we do.
Right.
When the DLC comes out, if you have a sub with them through ASO Plus, the DLC new dungeons are free, no additional cost, but you can also purchase them through the Crown Store if you do not have ESO Plus.
Awesome.
Personally, I recommend ESO Plus, not just for the DLC that is included, but the crafting bag is amazing and allows you to be a pack rat and a hoarder.
Yeah, even if you just buy it for a month, like just do a quick month, all your stuff goes into your crafting bag and you're good for a while.
What is the cost of ESO Plus?
I believe it is the same as a month in WoW, so
15.
Yeah, roughly 15. Totally worth it for the crafting bag though, and they're adding like different things you can get to the store. They're doing like discounted things you can buy in the Crown Store if you're an ESO Plus member.
And free statues. Yep,
exactly.
So in general, is ESO a FTP and then the Plus gives you the extra stuff, or how does that work?
It's a buy to play. So if you buy, like in this case, when you buy Elsewhere, it's probably going to come with the base game. That's how they did Somerset as well. You could buy you could buy Somerset and it would come with the base game. But that unlocks pretty much everything, with the exception of some of the other DLCs like the Dark Brotherhood quest line and the Thieves Guild quest line. Those are separate DLCs that ESO Plus will give you that you don't have to buy as an add-on.
But I highly recommend both of them. In fact, every one of your characters should probably run through both of those, honestly.
My Sork is horrible at stealth, but she is actually a member of both.
Well, that's even if you're a sorcerer and not good at stealth, like going through those makes you better at it. Like it's everyone can benefit with the stuff they give you. I highly recommend it. And the other thing too, it's not just your crafting bag, but I believe they double the size of your bank and your bag while it's active.
Your bank and your bag and your house.
Yes.
So when you purchase a house in the game, you have a limited amount of build space in that house. If you are an ESO Plus member, it doubles it.
Yep.
So if you are really into decorating houses, like a few of our players are, you can make massively gorgeous places with all the things. It's pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah, some of those are really huge. Like I have the grotto, and that place, I'm still trying to find stuff to put in there because it's just so massive.
That's on my list of save enough crowns for, because who doesn't want to live on a houseboat?
Yep. And that's the other thing that we keep forgetting is the ESO Plus gives you free crowns.
Yes.
So
how many crowns do you get per month? Or
I think they just increased it to I think $17.50 a month, or is it $13.50 a month?
it's not quite $15 worth, but it's pretty darn close.
Yeah.
that's
That's
impressive.
just it.
Wow,
Like-
that makes it worth it alone.
Well, that's just it. It's like if you're going to want to get coins, you might as well get a monthly because you're practically getting that much plus everything else. So
Yeah.
And they don't expire, so you can rack them up and save them for some of the bigger home purchases that you might want.
Yep.
And one thing that they do as well is they do a lot of community live streams where you can earn, crates and things like that just for watching them on Twitch. They're really engaged with the community, which I like.
yes.
And they tend to listen to their players, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's
Which is
entertaining
wonderful.
watching because you'll see them playing their own content, which is pretty rare for a lot
That's
of
fun.
game developers. Yeah, you'll see them like when they were doing the hunt, the one with the giant deer thing going on in the background.
Yes, that was the new werewolf.
That's it. Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was amazing to watch. And then, like, you can see them, they interact with the chat as they're doing it, and the chat actually goaded him and going into the hardest mode and just getting wiped by it. So,
Oh wow, that's fun.
seeing the developers getting wiped by the hardest mode of their own stuff was kind of fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's a lot of fun there. And what we tend to do for AIE and ESO is on Friday nights, we do our mandatory fun event. And any events that are going on in game, we incorporate into the mandatory fun. So 2 weeks ago, it was the Morrowind zone that was being focused on with an event. So we would go through and do the dailies as a group and just help each other out. And it's a lot of fun, and it's easier that way because you're doing it with friends. You're not waiting for randoms and struggling with any of that. You're just a bunch of people running rampant through the zone, killing everything ever, and we have a blast doing it. And we fall off cliffs.
Yeah. Is that specifically you, Kenny?
It's me and anyone who happens to follow me.
How did you unfollow?
Well, there is no on-follow. They have to be manually following me, but
okay.
sometimes you just can't stop fast enough.
Yeah.
Lemmings.
Hey, Kenny,
Yeah.
I want to give you a big thanks because you've been working really hard to pump up the activity in ESO, and that is really, really wonderful.
I have a lot of fun with it. It's a great game, and the fact that it scales the way it does makes it so anyone of any level can play.
Yeah.
And that helps it when we bring new people in as well. We're not worrying about, rolling younger tunes to help them. It's, oh yeah, you hit level 10, we'll pull you through dungeons. Let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So it's a ton of fun.
Awesome. All right. So any other fun ESO stuff or news?
Not as of yet. I'm looking forward to checking out the new DLC stuff next week. We might try to get some people into that for next Friday's mandatory fun, depending upon how difficult and head-banging that looks. But, we'll have a blast.
I guess it's kind of convenient that D&D is canceled tomorrow night, so that way you can play with the new update.
It'll give me some practice before Friday, and
Yeah.
I might actually need it. So there is that.
Yep. And also a reminder, they do have daily rewards. So some of them are pretty cool. They actually put exclusive costumes and occasionally put crates and even money. What was it? The last month had like 100,000 gold.
Yep. If you logged in every day, you'd unlock that.
Yeah.
So it's a daily reward. If you miss a day, they start chopping them off at the end.
Mhm.
Versus you just miss what that day had. So,
Yep.
Which makes it so that you could still get certain things if you happen to miss 1 or 2 days.
Yeah, and even if you aren't getting the big ones, you're still getting things like potions and little bits of gold and even alliance points, which is kind of handy because if you're not a PvPer, but there are some skills in the PvP chain that are kind of useful, you can eventually get them if you do the login reward. So it's an interesting way of doing it without having to PvP.
Yes, and it is very helpful if you want those things. Other than the fact that you have to go into that zone to use the alliance vendor to buy the things, but yeah.
Yeah. I have yet to step foot in that area, but I have found there is one of the first, I think it's under the Alliance section, is a speed boost a mount speed boost, and a running speed boost, and it works on you and everyone in your group.
Yep, rapid maneuvers.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
A few members of our group have it, and they will trigger it when we're running through zones to help us increase our speed, which is awesome.
And if you are already at max speed on your horse, it feels like ludicrous speed. You hit that button, you're just, poof, you're gone.
Yep. So they've got some nice quality of life things in there like that, which is cool.
Yeah.
And we have ventured into those zones as part of our mandatory fun nights before. It's just not something we do very often because it has to be for a specific reason when we go in. So
definitely.
Awesome. All right. So I think that is our show for tonight. While the chat room, by that I mean Max and Seema, start suggesting titles, we want to thank Kenny for joining us. Thank you so much, Kenny.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, sorry.
And if you have questions or comments about our show, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can follow us on Twitter. The show is at AIE Podcast. I am at the Mew Cow. Makala is at Cyberwaif, and Tetsemi is at Ivory Tiger, currently suffering from the flu. Hopefully he'll be better soon.
Yes.
We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can join the chat room and play along with us at our website, which is aie-guild.org/podcast-live-stream. And our Discord server for chat is bit.ly/AIE Podcast Discord. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, keyswithsoul.com.
All right. And now it's time to play all the great AIE member segments we received this week, including Hunts the Wind's Overly Dramatic News.
Woohoo.
Woo! Next time, we'll be talking about, someone about something. I'm trying to maneuver some people into joining us.
Time to ambush.
So if you guys want to ever guest on the show, let us know.
Volunteer your officers for us.
Volunteer your officers. We always like to have officers voluntold to come on.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, AIE, this is Makala.
This is Mukau.
This is not Tetsemi. And this has been the AIE Podcast.
Dun dun.
Bye.
All right, time for titles.
All right, so we have Thank You, Kenny. Falling Off Cliffs for Fun and Profit. E-S, oh so fun. E-S-O, I fell off a cliff.
That one's pretty good.
I will leave it up to you guys.
No.
It's always you.
Yours.
Always you. It's always the guest.
All right, I'm going to go with the ESO, I fell off a cliff, because that one is funny.
All right.
Nice one, Max.
Yes. It was a risk he was willing to take. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us for our short and sweet show.
Thank you for having me.
Always.
Yes, thanks for coming.
I guess I should get dinner made.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay. Oh, hey, we hear from Tat.
Yeah, at the end of the show. All right. I'm going to go ahead and cut the stream. Thanks, chat room.
All right. I'm guessing Raid's going to be dicey too for you?
I should be fine. I just won't be doing call-outs.
Okay.